Hi, Chris.
Hi.
I made it. How
How are
are
you?
you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you for willing to do this.
Oh, you're welcome. Like I told you in our emails, I don't know how much I'll have to talk about, but I'll do my best. I haven't prepared too much, so I don't have a speech.
No problem.
So you're in Minnesota.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Is it hot there right now?
Yeah, it's actually pretty bad. It's like 100 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really warm for you guys. All right. Well, I got my fan going, so I hope that's not disturbing the recording in any
Oh,
way.
no, that's fine.
Okay. All righty.
So I can just first thing I can ask is did you always want to pursue acting initially?
I did as a very young child, and I was discouraged from it. And so my parents were, I'd say, more traditional,
Okay.
encouraged me to get a corporate job and follow that miserable ladder. And so I did. Um, and the short story is my dad retired very early in life. And when I asked him about his retirement, he said to me, retirement's great, but I don't have the physical ability to do the things that I've always dreamt of doing. So that kind of made me sad.
Yeah.
So when my corporate job at the time, I've always had corporate jobs, went south, I decided I'm going to start pursuing the things that interest me. And so I was in Houston at the time, and I pursued acting classes and improv and things like that. So yeah, so I started pursuing acting, I believe, in my early to mid 30s.
Okay.
And I had what I learned was called beginner's luck. I booked my first commercial audition. I got a national commercial. I started doing plays, which were just so terrifying to do. Gosh, to perform live is, just gives me a lot of anxiety. But and then I heard about AD Vision and a voiceover audition. Had no information about anime, what it was, or anything. I didn't even know Steve Racer at the time was a type called anime at the time. When I watched it as a young child, I just thought cartoon. So yeah, I auditioned for Dr. Ritsuko, and I got it. Shocking. I had no idea. So that led to more work with AD Vision, and yeah, it's pretty exciting. And I had no idea that Evangelion was as big as it was. I mean, I knew it was the equivalent. It was explained to me that the popularity of it in Japan was the equivalent of it to The Simpsons in the United States,
Yep.
which was pretty huge when I thought about it. But that didn't mean that Americans were crazy about it. I didn't learn that till much later.
Okay. And how could you personally relate to Ritsuko at all?
Well, personally, I'm really organized, and I'm a doer. I get things done. She's certainly that way as well. She didn't have a lot of fluff in her personality. You know, I'm not like that. I'm very hands-on. I'm affectionate. I'm probably overly expressive, very animated that way. But I could relate to her directness in getting things done. Business, you know, this is my job. This is what I'm directed to do. That attitude.
Mm-hmm. And when things got intense for her, did you find yourself going to a dark headspace?
No, I didn't. I had never done voiceover before. I'd only done some on-camera work and plays. So it was so great, though. Gosh, it was fun. I just not having to worry about what you look like, what you're wearing, makeup, takes, lighting, all that's involved in live acting. It was so awesome. And every voice actor says that, so I'm no different. It's a dream.
Yeah.
So that was really, really fabulous. I learned a lot. Matt Greenfield was very, very patient. But yet he pushed in a professional way, not just to be an ass. You know, he was really nice to work with. So, yeah.
Well, what were your thoughts on where Ritsuko ended up? Like, what ended up happening to her?
You know, the whole thing was pretty dismal, right? The whole show. It's not joyous. It's interesting that humans are not turned off by the sad ending and all, the demise of the characters and everything. I had a lot of trouble getting into it because of the violence.
Okay.
I'm really tired of the action, any type of drama where there's a lot of violence and shooting and all that now. And there was a lot of explosions and things blowing up in Ava, as you know. So I didn't enjoy that part. I thought my co-actors, my co-actors, you know, people that I went to the office with, yeah, they, it would have been fun to all be in one, in separate booths and work together in some points. I only got to do that in Dirty Pair, which is pretty awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great, being able to have instant feedback like that.
Yeah. Well, one more Ritsuko question. What were your thoughts on her relationships with other characters like Misato and Gendo? And
I think she has trouble with relationships.
Right.
And it wasn't hard for me. It's acting, but I couldn't relate to that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think she has had trouble with relationships and intimacy for sure, and lots of family issues that she hasn't resolved.
Yeah, I don't know if you're even aware, but there's still a really big fan following for your performance as Ritsuko.
No, I did not know that. In fact, since you're recording this and it's going to be on the World Wide Web very soon, I'd like to say I'm very disappointed that I didn't get to be in the other versions of it. Who didn't call me? Why did no one call me? No, just kidding.
Okay.
I just had to say that. I would have liked to have been the voice in the subsequent ones, but hey, it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
But no, I did not know there was a fan following for me. I will say, oh, check this out. I have to share this. Let's see if you see that.
Oh, yeah.
So I did not know this existed until one of my past corporate jobs. I work privately now. But so I'm at the office. Someone IMs me on our private IM system and says, Sue, are you the Sue Ulu in Evangelion? And I'm like, yeah. It's always weird to see that, you know, in your office, or you get a message about that. And I said, I am. So left it at that, discussed it a little bit. I had some really nice workers at that particular job. But so later we go into lockdown because of COVID, and I'm the only one allowed at the office because I'm the office manager. And that employee asks me to go to his desk and open the drawer. And this is sitting there. And I didn't know that this existed. These little body, what are they called? Like little baby dolls.
Figures.
Thank you. Yes, those. And he asked me to sign it for his friend. And I said, of course, I'm happy to sign it. And then I bought one for myself.
Oh, good.
And they were on back order. So I keep it on my desk, and I just love her.
Yeah.
I just think, yeah. So I do sometimes randomly get inquiries from people that have seen me on LinkedIn sometimes and say, hey, are you? And I'm always astounded that people know it so well.
Mm-hmm.
Flattered. Doesn't get old. Yeah.
Well, so then talking about a Dirty Pair, I mean, that's a really fun show. I can imagine it was super fun to work on too.
It was super fun. I personally don't like my work on that.
Oh.
No, I don't. We had a big deadline to get that done quickly, very quickly. I don't remember why we needed to get it done quickly or why. Oh, Dr. Ritsuko took a fall. Excuse me. Let me fix her. Stay down. So here's what I learned about voiceover. You learn as you do. Fake it until you make it, as they say. I learned that you should limit your voiceover sessions to 3 to 4 hours of speaking. And I had no option some days to literally work for 8 hours. And I started sounding terrible, in my opinion, but we had to go. And if I knew more back then, I would have probably insisted that we stop and continue the next day to give my voice a rest. I think I sound tired yet forced. That's the best way I can describe personally that I feel like, yeah, it grates on me to hear myself on that series.
Okay.
But it was a blast to do otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kim was great to work with. So yeah, that was fun.
What about, do you remember much about being in a Golden Boy?
That was fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to look like her. Like, what? That's me? All right. I perked right up in that booth. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pretend to look like that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I liked it. She stood up for herself a lot. I could relate to it. And she was just no nonsense, better, stay in your lane sort of behave attitude. I liked that. It was really fun. I don't know how popular that particular show was. Was that pretty big?
Yeah, especially nowadays, it's gotten a rediscovery.
No kidding. Wow. Huh. Okay. See, this is educational for me.
Oh, great. I know that was Amanda Winley directing you in Golden Boy too.
Was that the one? So I was trying to just go back in history and recall who I work with and who directed what. And I knew I had worked with Amanda on one of the series. I couldn't recall which. So you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. So yeah, I have my VHS copies, which don't come in handy anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have those. And I have a cell of Jani.
Oh.
I actually have a cell that's hanging on my wall that I believe, yeah, it was Matt Greenfield in his generosity brought back from Japan and gave it to me. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like having it.
Yeah.
Those are the two things I have displayed in my apartment. My little miniature 3-inch Dr. Ritsuko and then Jani on the wall. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
And I know another big character was in Sorcerer Hunters, Big Momma.
Oh, right. Yeah, that wasn't very big though. That wasn't a big role. It was fun. And sometimes even though you don't play the leading or supporting roles, those are some juicy parts.
Right.
That tend to be more memorable. Like Golden Boy was more memorable to me than Dirty Pair. And of course, as an actor, it's how you feel about your work, right? So like I said, for Dirty Pair, there was just too many long days in there to have any quality of work, in my opinion. I don't like it. And I think at the time, years ago, I read a really negative review about it.
Oh.
Somebody insulting my voice or anyway, it was negative. I wasn't surprised one bit. I mean, I didn't like the way I sounded.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but Big Momma, I've forgotten about that. Yeah, this is a little walk down memory lane for sure.
What about Soul Bianca?
So who was I in that one?
Jani. She had green hair.
Right. Another fun role. I still liked Golden Boy better. That was more fun. And then Big Momma was fun too. That was good. Yeah. I could have done yeah, voiceover was a really great gig for sure. I did one when I moved to LA, I did a video game that I don't recall. yeah, the competition is certainly tough, but it's always tough in acting. That's just the way it is. Very few people get work.
Were you part of SAG?
I was. Yeah, it was easy to get into SAG in Texas.
Yep.
Because of it being a right to work state. So I did a couple of commercials and was right in SAG, no problem. Yeah. Doing a national commercial helped, doing a regional commercial helped. I did a Meineke commercial. I don't know if you have those in Minnesota. They were in Texas, and I imagine they still are. I don't know. Meineke mufflers.
Oh, no.
Okay, so that was a national commercial with, help me here, George, the boxer, has other boys named George after. Oh, this is so terrible.
Foreman?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. So I got to meet him. He was part of the commercial, and those types of jobs. Yeah, I got into SAG with no problem.
And when you moved to LA, were you wanting to try to pursue a live action work?
I did. Yeah, I did plays. I did a little bit of voiceover. Yeah, I certainly did not have as much luck. And some of the smaller jobs I did weren't as professional.
Oh, okay.
So honestly, you just never know what you're going to get sometimes. And auditions are brutal in LA, just getting anywhere. Have you ever been?
Nope.
Yeah. So it's pretty brutal to get around. I haven't lived there in a long time. But yeah, it's pretty brutal to get to auditions and go through that whole process. But I had an agent and I had a manager, and it was a really fun time for sure. And a lot of my friends, one of my best male friend happened to move to LA the same year I did.
Okay.
So that really worked out great because he knew people from Houston, and we had a really nice group of people to hang out and do things with. I joined an acting group that was really fun, and we put on plays. So I think about being on stage now, and it's like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe it's me.
Yeah.
Because it's so terrifying. I go to theater regularly here. I have season tickets to a local theater. And every time I go and I look at that stage and I wonder, how did I do that? I always think when the lights go down and I think, okay, somebody has just said places, everybody. And do you know what that is?
Yeah.
When people say, yeah, okay. So that was my moment of freak out. Anytime I thought, what am I doing? I can't breathe. Get me out of here. I don't want to go on stage. And then soon enough, the lights go up and there you are. I still can't believe I did that.
Well, I was going to ask next, why did you decide to move away from acting?
I don't like to be poor.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the short answer. I didn't want to be older and poor. There's a lot more venues to be an actor today, right? I mean, it used to be looked down upon to for let's say Nicole Kidman to be on a television series, right? I don't know that she is. I don't follow her that closely. But you know, those big movie screen actors that have made it big, for them to do a TV series, for example, it's just like, oh gosh, she's hard up looking for work, etc. It's not the case anymore. Prime, Hulu, all these different streaming services do their own movies. I mean, there's opportunities galore, I would imagine. And I may have stayed in it if that were the case when I was in LA. I'm sure it's maybe easier now. I don't know. I mean, everyone still wants to be an actor, right? We still want our 15 minutes of, put yourself on YouTube, just do whatever you want. So, but the short answer is I didn't want to be poor.
Okay.
And some people do better with that. I don't like it.
Well, in terms of voiceover now, especially with ever since COVID, most of it's all remote. They have home studios and they record like that.
Isn't that fabulous? So I will say in my corporate job, 2 corporate jobs ago, I did a really large voiceover job for a government, our government. And you can look it up. Your viewers can look it up. It's under the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. It's called AHRQ.
Okay.
And under that is the HCUP program, HCUP. And that stands for Healthcare Cost and Utilization Project. And it's a research, basically it's part of the government that collects statistics from various medical organizations. So they needed someone to do the voiceover for the educational part on how to use some of their databases. And I worked on that, and boy, that was a lot of dialogue, a lot of more difficult dialogue.
Right.
And, but I still enjoyed it. It was a bit repetitious, but I still enjoyed it. And I got to record it in this fabulous recording studio that no longer exists. It was called Playback.
Okay.
It was here in Santa Barbara, and it was stunning. I mean, Katy Perry had recorded there. Other big names have recorded there. It was just, it would be when I envision what a true Hollywood to the nth degree of luxury and beauty would be very close to that.
Mm-hmm.
It was very sexy in there, just the lighting and the appointments. And so that made it good.
Yeah.
That made it good. But I did that fairly, maybe 4 years ago or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that just sounds like me, except in a more professional tone. Yeah. It'll put you to sleep. You should look it up. Having a rough night, I recommend it. All those medical terms and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have you stayed in touch with anybody that you did voice acting with back in Texas?
I knew you were going to ask me that. No, I haven't. I have not. No, I was thinking about, have I? No. No, no one that I've done voiceover with.
Well, it's funny because I very recently I did interview Amanda, and she was like, I wonder whatever happened to Sue.
Yeah, okay. Well, I watched part of that. I didn't have a lot of time, but I watched a part of it. And then I wondered, why has she not aged?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Really? Yeah, it's like, yeah. I felt like she looked like she did not age at all.
Well, I could say that for you too. The pictures of you that are up, you look the same.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, the only, I don't want to say that this is a fact, but I believe I referred Kim Severe to Matt.
Okay.
Matt Gumfield for, voiceover jobs. And I think that's how he put she and I together on Dirty Pair. So we lost touch when she moved to New York many years ago. She moved to New York, I moved to LA, and I don't recall being super friendly with the rest of the staff. I'd seen them come and go from their sessions at the office, if you will, but or the studio, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda and Spike Spencer, they live in LA, and Tiffany Grant moved to Georgia. And
oh wow.
Yeah. That was just very recently.
Huh, Georgia. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't move back to Houston. I'm not a fan.
Oh.
Yeah, I lived there for 21 years. That was plenty.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that Spike and Amanda were still there, but you kind of, it's a good place to be if you're pursuing acting, right? I mean, or you can live where I live and then constantly commute back and forth. People do that as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure.
Well, my final question is always asking, what do you want your legacy to be?
and I work on this daily when I communicate with people. I want to be someone who people are comfortable telling their most intimate secrets and problems to without judgment, and that they know that they can stay with me and they can trust with that. I think that is one of the biggest problems in our world, that people are often consumed in appearance and what other people are going to think if I do this or don't do this, and that's agonizing. So yeah, I like to be that person.
Okay.
Because I would like someone to do that for me. My boyfriend does, but in general, just saying, yeah.
And is there something that you want people to take away from your voice acting performances?
That if they want to pursue voice acting, they should. I mean, my first audition, I nailed that job, and how great for me. I mean, I feel it's pretty awesome. And I would like, if people want to contact me to tell me how popular it still is, that would be great. I'd love to hear the latest and greatest on Evangelion. I'm often busy and don't focus on that part of my life. So I'm thrilled to hear that people are still interested. It flatters me to hear from fans and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that we got to do this.
Thank you for asking. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. I'll be sure to send this to you once I have it up if you want to see it.
I would like to see it so I can criticize it.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, have a good
Bye.
one. Bye.